But let's talk to Steve Mulry, Ted's brother, and Les Hall from TMG.
Rock on.
The single sounds really good.
Thank you.
That's all for the interview. Thanks very much.
That'll do. Yeah. How much of the album have you done? Are you all done?
All done.
Oh, wow.
Yep, in the can, and Steve's done some great vocals on it too.
Thank you, Les.
You're welcome. Now that's $20.
He said some, he didn't say all.
Yeah, no, that's really no, they'll be back in the studio doing some remixing now.
That's right.
No, it's turned out good, and it was really interesting to get in and do it again after all these years.
So, how long since you've been in the studio, actually, with the intent in mind of doing a record as such as that's old farts say?
Oh, mate, my memory's not that long. Oh, shit. To be honest, like Old Habits, I think was the last one. When was that, Steve? 80s?
I think Old Habits wasn't it 1990?
Well, yeah, about then. Yeah, long time in between drinks.
So fill in that 33 years for 33 years for us, Les. Just a quick,
Okay, well, first of all, there was the marriage that we won't talk about, and then there was it was like the band didn't work for a long time because Ted passed away.
Yep.
And so, in fact, at one stage there, I didn't think we'd ever work again, but then suddenly something came along, and we had the opportunity, and we'd done the the benefit for Ted with Steve doing vocals, and we knew it could work, so we put it to him, and the rest, as they say.
Yeah. Was that a difficult decision for you to make, Steve? Because there's all the obvious tick the box things, but there's all the obvious ones that you go.
It had been 15 years since Ted had passed, or 14 and a half at the time when Herm called me about it, and I may have been a little too eager because what he said was he said just a bit of small talk because we talked every now and again, and he said, Steve, we're thinking of putting the band back together, and I said yes, okay.
Can I finish the sentence, please, Steve?
Yeah, and then I said to him, did I jump the gun? Were you actually saying it to ask me? And he said, yeah. So I felt relieved then. It wasn't a difficult decision at all because I always felt that the band finished up too early. I mean, obviously they had no choice, because of what happened. But I thought the band had so much more still to give, live performance and writing songs, and Les has proven that by writing this whole album.
So you written the whole thing, Les, the new album?
Yeah, mate. Well, I always used to write with Ted.
Yep.
And we did quite a lot together, and we did some stuff independent of one another. Yeah, I just basically put an album together thinking, okay, I might just record these and as an album, not thinking of the band. And Herm, the drummer, has got a great studio in Sydney. And I said to him, hey, you interested in recording some tracks? He said, oh, yeah, okay. Basically, I've got nothing better to do. So we did that. And as it was progressing, he said to me, we should get Steve in to do these vocals. Besides other things, you're a shit vocalist, Les. Thank you very much. So we got Steve in, and then we thought, well, we need a bass player. And without Ted, of course, we didn't have a bass player in the band. So we asked Tony Mitchell, the ex-bass player for Sherbet, and he was very obliging and only too happy to do it with us, which we were very appreciative of. And so basically it came together, and Herm at one point turned around to both Steve and I and said, look, this is actually a TMG album, so why don't we just treat it as that?
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Wow.
I should also mention Steve actually got us off the hook because TMG, okay, it can be the Mulry Gang. It doesn't have to be Ted Mulry Gang.
Yeah.
But by Steve being the vocalist, we still had a valid name. Otherwise, God knows what we'd be called now.
Steve, when you attack a song vocally, is there anything in your mind you're thinking about Ted or not thinking about Ted, or is there a conscious thing there, or is there just a genetic thing there, or how does that kind of work for you?
Firstly, Les is a good songwriter in the sense that he he wrote these with my vocal range in mind. I mean, my vocal range is similar to Ted's.
Yep.
Do I consciously think of Ted when I'm singing? Probably not. I think more of the way the songwriter wants the song. You know, I mean, Les guided me, you know, in ways as well in regards to delivery of the song, of melodies, etc. And then any little blemishes I put in myself, put certain things in, but it was mainly all Les. But what I was thinking about was just doing the best I could.
Yeah.
Ted and I, our vocal styles are slightly different. As I said, our ranges are similar, but our styles are different. So Ted had a more pop-oriented vocal. I'm a more hard rock vocalist. So there were slight changes there. But I've learned that over the last few years, since 2016 when the band reformed. I basically learnt the best way to sing for the band. I just kept on that road.
The image of TMG always is a fun band, a good band to go and watch and have a great time with. Always that. There's a really dark side to this new single. The story behind this new single, though, Les, I was reading stuff about the inspiration for the song.
Yeah, and it's true. As a matter of fact, that I always write with music first, then I come up with the melody, followed by the lyric.
Yeah.
And I did that with this. And I had the riff, and the riff was quite obviously a riff that was fine for a guitar but was never going to work for a vocal unless you did something like a la-la on it. And so I had that la-la thing in mind, but I had nothing else. And I was watching, can I mention a TV show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Narcos. And I won't say what streaming platform it was on, but I was watching, I got right into a couple of series of Narcos. And while I was watching it, you always see the young ladies draped over lounges in the background as furniture, basically. And there were some there that looked like they were, barely in their teens.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, what a bloody horrible life it is for those girls. This is coming from a father and a grandfather, I should add, too.
Yeah.
But, so as I was watching that, I think that's where the whole idea of writing a song about a young girl and her experiences and her mum trying to get her out of it, and mum dying or being killed, and her being stuck in that. And what does she do when she's, how do I put this politely, pressed into doing whatever the captors want her to do, basically? Yeah. She just goes into his head and sings a little melody to herself. And that's where the whole thing came from.
Wow. Did you impart that to Steve before he did the vocal?
He said to me it was a love song.
Well, it's actually funny. When I watch my granddaughters sing, they're like 4 and 7, when they're singing along with it, they just sing along with the la-las really happily, haven't got a clue what's underneath. And that's the beauty of something like a la-la. It doesn't matter what language you speak, la-la is la-la.
It's always been the same. Just
It is what it is. Rock on. Tell us about the album and the songs that we'll hear on that, Les.
Basically, what I did was I did exactly what Ted and I used to do when we wrote together. We basically used to write to our influences. And although sometimes you can't hear it, we know where it comes from, but other people can't. But there's a couple of open E tracks on the album, for example, which people are going to listen to and go, oh, that sounds like the Stones. Well, yep, it does. It's only sounds like the Stones because it's open tuned, but it's not intentionally gone out. I haven't decided I'm going to write a Stones song. It's just that when you write a song with open E tuning, it inevitably sounds like that, you know. So there's a few tracks like that. There's a ballad called Missing You. There's a variety of all different tracks on it, and including a bluesy sounding thing called Steve Help Me. Is that
Slow Train?
Slow Train? Yeah, right.
The Slow Train is actually my favourite track on the album. And the good thing about the album, it's all different all the way through. Yes, La La has a darker side to it, but so many of the songs on the album are upbeat, lighter. You know, it's so it does have contrasts. We're not totally downers.
No, Lala's got the dark side to the I guess the inspiration behind it. But as a song, it's actually a chugga chugga, off we go.
Yeah. I think it's a great track.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Can I use that chugga chugga?
Might write a song.
Consider it yours. I may have stolen it from the Bee Gees, but consider it yours, Les.
Oh no, I never go with secondhand stuff.
Because when you write, do you think about the playing them on stage? Is that part of
Yes.
and the fact that the band's always been a very energetic band and been a really fun band.
Inevitably. Well, Ted and I decided many, many years ago that essentially whatever we write is TMG, provided the band can play it. It's that simple, So if the band can play it and it comes from he and I, then that is a TMG song. Fortunately, all of this stuff on the album does sound like TMG. And, of course, Steve singing everything gives it that thread. Have I consciously thought about how's this song going to work on stage? Some of them, yes. There's a rock track called Gonna Make You All Right, which is I had live in mind when I was writing that particular track. But some of the other stuff, no, it just came out as songs, and, it is what it is.
50th anniversary of TMG forming, in 1974 after a G.T.K getting
Well, it was a little bit – it's amazing. People always talk about these suddenly getting a band together after a appearance. It actually evolved over quite a long period of time. And through that period of time, Velvet Underground, the band that Herman and I were in, along with Malcolm from
Young,
a band,
little band you may have heard of called AC/DC.
Yeah, you may have heard of it. We were together, well, I think Mal was in the band for a year and a half or thereabouts, and it reached the point where we just decided, look, why don't we just back Ted all the time as a backing band rather than doing what we're doing, which was essentially I was flying around the country with him as his musical director. I'd tune the band up and, rehearse them with the songs. But that was rather tedious, to say the least. Yeah. And the only reason I was doing it is because Ted hated doing it. But, Herm came up with the idea of, why don't we just form a band? So we did. And at that point, Malcolm went off and started the early version of AC/DC, and we went off and we approached Ted about the idea, and he said, well, look, rather than just being a backing band, why don't we just form a band? And that's what we did.
So was he doing Julia and Falling in Love Again and all those songs? Is that what you were originally sort of backing him doing?
I was backing him doing it, but as soon as we got together as TMG, he did Falling in Love Again for a while, and he did Julia for a while, but he was keen to put that past, in the past, and especially once we started recording TMG albums, and we just started playing TMG stuff.
Yeah.
Every now and then we'd pop Falling in Love Again.
They're two very good songs, two very good pop songs.
Yeah.
I heard someone play Jump in My Car on the radio the other day. They played about 90 seconds of it and then went into, you wouldn't get away with that these days, which made me laugh out loud, to be honest. What's the reaction to it these days?
It's, as a matter of fact, people just accept it as it is. It was a thing of its time.
Yeah,
we still play it, but we don't push it like we used to. It was. Well, when it was a hit, when it was the hit that it was.
Oh, it was huge. It was monstrous.
It was very big. Oh. And we were very, very happy for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, these days it's just, well, it's a relic of the 70s. People may not like that, but that's the truth, And was it innocent when it was written? Well, I heard the original draft that Ted did of that song, and it, as a matter of fact, whenever we did a rough demo, Ted would kind of just ad-lib some lyrics, and it would always be rhyming lyrics. And I read something lately that there's a few people in the industry do the same thing, and what he did was you'd have all of these expletive deleteds, which would be rhyming beautifully. And you can imagine what he put with truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it sort of started. But the concept of offering this person a lift and, what he expected for the lift, well, that was never really in doubt.
Yeah.
And anyone who knew Ted knew that was never in doubt.
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming the sound check version of the song would have been a hell of a lot different to the one that you did on Countdown.
Oh yes, he had to control himself.
Yeah, I remember hearing Billy Joel do a sound check in the mid part of the 70s, and Honesty became Sodomy, and it was a very different song. A very different song. Is it fun singing the old songs, Steve? Do you enjoy singing, Jump in My Car and Darktown Strutters and all those massive hits?
I really do. I mean, I love those songs. There's actually a lot of songs we probably don't do that I really love of TMG as well, because I delve into the albums rather than just the singles and and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, singing the old songs is great, particularly if you're singing them with the band that did them in the first place.
Yeah,
it's not like we're a cover band. It's not like I'm out doing a cover show. This is the real thing, and so playing the actual songs with the real band is quite a buzz.
Obviously, you can take this on the road and do a 50th anniversary tour.
I'm getting a bit too old to do that now.
What, are we going to wait for the 150th anniversary?
The answer should be yes. I'll let Les carry on with that one. Yes.
There'll be an artificial intelligent version of TMG running around doing
a real intelligent version.
That's right.
an actual intelligent version. So
with heads in jars.
What's the set list going to look like, Les?
Look, my guess is it will be a mixture of a lot of the old favourites with hopefully some of the new songs that we're also hoping will become favourites.
Yeah, a lot of ABBA songs.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yes. TMG does Mamma Mia. I can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait. Should be good. What's the reaction been so far from people that have actually had the opportunity to hear La La?
Very positive from what I've heard. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I played it to a few people. Particularly, I have friends in radio who I've let them listen to as well, and they're quite positive about the song and quite excited about it, particularly since it's been quite a while since the band has released anything. So I think it's a winner of a song. I really do. I mean, the other people haven't heard the album as such, but the single, yeah, I think it's a great song, and so far it's only been positive information come back. It's
a different world, isn't it? I mean, when we'd get the singles in radio in the 70s, you'd whack them on and play them straight away. Now that's got not quite sure how that process works now, but it hasn't got that zing about it that it had back in the late part of the 70s when we're playing them all the time.
And you don't go up to your local record shop and buy every copy of the record you can in order to blah, blah, but you get where I'm coming from there. Yeah, it's a completely different world, yeah.
Does that change the degree of satisfaction for you, Les? Because, I mean, there would have been a time when you would have been driving around in Sydney and had 2SM on and, Jump in My Car or My Little Girl or one of them would have come and you would have gone, yeah, that's us, that's pretty good.
And it was a great buzz. It always is to hear your stuff on radio. These days it'll be different because there's going to be all sorts of media that it'll be going over that we will not be hearing, because you weren't streaming stuff in your home. You might have been playing the single in your home or the cassette or whatever it was at the time, but streaming has become so big. So. And you have no way of monitoring that, or we don't, except from reports you get back from those streaming platforms.
Yeah. No, look, congratulations on what I've heard of Lala so far, and good luck with the album. Look forward to hearing more of that and seeing you blokes live.
Look forward to seeing you live.
And say hi to Brian for us.
I will pass on your best to him and his best to you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, gents. Good to catch up.
Thanks, mate.
Great chatting with you.
Take care.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
Jump in my car, I wanna take you home. Jump in my car, it's too far to walk on your own. No thank you, sir. Ah, come on, I'm a trustworthy guy. No thank you, sir. Oh, little girl, I wouldn't tell you no lie. I know you can't. How can you say that we only just met? We're on the same. Ooh, she's got me there, but I'll get her yet. I got you there. No, you didn't. I was catching my breath, and look, it's starting to rain, and baby, you catch your death. Well, I don't know. Ah, come on, it costs nothing to try, and you'll arrive home nice and dry. Jump in my car, I wanna take you home. Come on, jump in my car.
There you go. There's the version, the version that Australia came to know and love and was a massive hit, Jump in My Car.